Hello the internet, my name's Laura, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an update on my Primulina swarm. My Primulinas are, I got a whole bunch of Primulinas all at one time. You guys may or may not remember. I ordered one and it did really well, and then I went ahead and ordered all the rest of them that they had on the particular website that I had gotten them from, and they've been doing really well. And so this is a plant where, truthfully, I haven't seen any other YouTubers that I follow, like, ever mention this plant. Like, this was something that I saw on the website, and then I was like, oh, that seems interesting. It's kind of like an African violet. They're called Asian violets. And, you know, and so I just wanted to give it a shot because they have silver on their leaves, and we know that I love silver on leaves. So, I've got them all over here right next to me. And where was the first one? So this was the first one that I got. It was a Primulina Nane Argentine. And I got it in 2-inch pot, a 3-inch pot? I think I got this in a 2.5-inch pot, I think. And I had it for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and I ended up needing to repot it because it had gotten so big. So this is the bigger pot in which I put it, and even now, like, it's basically filled up this pot. Now, so if you want to look, it's got this cool silver patterning on the leaves. That one right there is super gorgeous. And, you know, it grows out of the center right like that. So far, I think I took off some of the smaller leaves that were looking a little rough, like from when I first got it. But other than that, these are basically all the leaves I have. They are, I mean, you can see the hairs on there when you look really close. So they're fuzzy. It's kind of like a soft fuzz. And the leaves are fairly stiff. Like, you know, I can move them, but see how it's kind of like trying to keep its shape. And basically all I do with these is I put them under my grow light that I have right here, and they've just been growing. I also do water them like a succulent. I also water them like African violets in that I bottom water them. They each have this little tray, and I just fill up the tray about halfway, and then I let them sit while I'm doing other stuff for half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I dump out all the rest of the water, and that's how I water them. And then I make sure that they feel like they've taken in water. Like, I just watered these guys yesterday, so they're actually feeling pretty hefty. And I mean, that's how I've been taking care of them. So this is the first one that I got, and so obviously it's the largest one that I have. Primulina Nane Argentine. And I made these little labels. Isn't that cute? Yeah. So that is the first one I got. And then these other ones I all got at the same time. This all started, truthfully, because I saw that there was one called a Primulina Loki. I really like Loki of Norse mythology fame. Even before the Marvel movies, where, you know, Loki's played by Tom Hiddleston and is a really awesome character. Way more interesting than Thor. So I saw a Primulina that was called a Loki, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'll give it a shot. If it's like an African violet, it's probably not super hard to take care of. And then when I ended up placing the order from that, because I got some begonias at the same time, they were out of the Loki, and that's why I got the Nane Argentine first. And then after I had such success with Nani Argentine, I was like, I'm gonna get all, like, as many of them as I can, and obviously one of those was the Loki. So the Loki has a lot more silver on the leaves, as you can see. Not quite as big as the Nani Argentine, but I mean, it's getting there. And also, I think there might be, like, little baby plant growing in there. I'm not sure how African violets, propagate. But there seems to be other plants possibly, like, growing out of the plant that is here. I haven't, like, actually gone in there to try and separate them or anything, but it's possible that I'm going to have to do that before too long, because, this pot's not big enough for more than one of these. So that's the Loki. I also got, this is the Primulina patina. So these leaves are a lot more curled just in general. I mean, this is how they grew. Obviously, a lot more curled. It still has, like, the silver on it, but the green isn't quite as strikingly dark. So that's that guy. Still, let's see, there aren't any little babies growing on this guy, but, still, he's doing really, really well. This is the Primulina Zhuang's party dress, which has just all of the silver, but also, and it's really hard to see on here, I was trying to figure out if you guys would be able to see it, but the bottom of these leaves are a little bit purple, and the hairs on the edge of each of these leaves are actually purple. Like, the hairs on the top are, like, silver or whatever, but the hairs on the sides are actually purple. And this leaf, I think maybe because it was getting too much light, has kind of turned a little purple. It's the whole thing, like that there is all purple. I haven't quite figured out if that's like a sun stress thing, because like I said, I only have them under grow light, so it's not that strong of a light. Or if that's just an aged leaf thing, or what. But this one's really cool because I didn't realize it was going to have the purple around the edges. And it's really striking when you can sit and look at it. Unfortunately, like I said, it's not super easy to see it on the camera. So I'm trying to give you guys a good look at that. But and then I have the Primulina Frosted Jade. So this one, like, the growing pattern on this is completely different than the other ones. There is more than one plant in here, I think. Oh no, interesting. I had not, like, sat and looked super, super close at this. So they all seem to be growing out of, like, a center stem. Not sure if I'm going to be able to show you. They're all kind of growing out of a center stem there. And the backs of these ones are, like, decidedly purple. And then the tops of the leaves are nice, rich, dark green with the silver veining all through it. This is what this one looks like. This one is odd compared to the other ones, because they all seem to be, like, just growing out of a center thing and then going. And I don't know if all of the Frosted Jades are like this, or if mine just happens to be like this, or whatever, but I just really love the super dark leaves with the silver on this one in particular. Also, when I first got the Frosted Jade, I accidentally knocked off one of the leaves when I was unpacking it, and just to see what would happen, I stuck it in one of my propagation trays. And so here it is here, with all of its little baby plant growing out of the bottom of it. So, apparently they are pretty easy to propagate. You know, I just stuck it in here, I propagated. The leaf had just fallen off. I'm not even sure it fell off at the right off of the stem. It might have been broken off and it's still propagated basically like a begonia would propagate or a peperomia. So that's kind of nice that they're pretty easy to propagate as well. I assume that it would work just as well in water propagation, same way as the begonia, but I have not actually tried that. I prefer the sphagnum moss propagation because it keeps it the right amount of humid, plus it's in like a little container that kind of keeps the humidity up around it, so that's my preferred way, but I bet you it would work in water too. And then, my last two actually decided that they were going to flower for me. So this one is the Primulina sinensis angustifolia, and the leaf, it hasn't done a lot of growing like leaf-wise, compared to the others. The leaves are just kind of, I don't know, they just haven't grown as much, like, compared to the other ones where they've just gotten super, super big. And the leaves themselves are kind of a paler green, and I've seen them online, and I've seen this particular species online, and normally the leaves are much darker green, more striking. I don't know whether it's because it's flowering, and so it's putting a lot of effort into flowering. The flower stalks started growing, and they took several weeks, I want to say. Like, it was several weeks of it growing up and eventually coming out into these pretty cool looking flowers. They kind of remind me of snapdragon flowers almost. But I don't know if they're the reason that the plant itself has not grown a whole lot, or if this particular plant, out of all of them, just doesn't really like me quite as much. So keeping an eye on that guy. It's basically done flowering almost. Like these are places where flower stalks or flowers were, and they've fallen off and just left the little stamen on there. I don't know what's gonna happen with those. I basically just gonna let it like die back on its own, just because I kind of want to see what happens. I did not pollinate them, which I guess could have been cool. Maybe I will, because I have a second one that is also flowering right now. Similar, this is the Primulina Rachel. This one grew a whole lot, and see, it's a completely different shape again, the leaf shape and than a lot of the ones we saw before. But it's still got the green with the silver. And this one grew a lot before it then started growing these flower stalks, and the flowers are a similar shape, but number one, not quite as big, and number two, these are a little bit more pink. I mean, they're pretty purple. It doesn't help that they're bouncing around all over the place. La, 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 la. And then this one also kind of came up and was like just 2 stalks or just 1 stalk, and then this one is like 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, like there's a whole bunch on this one. So they're all the same species, but they're definitely, I mean, I guess it's kind of like any species, like all the begonias, or not begonias, all the philodendrons like can be completely different shapes and completely different, whatevers, even though they're all begonias. These are all Primulinas, but they're just all different species. So now that I have said this on camera, though, I'm gonna see what I can do about maybe cross-pollinating and seeing if I get any seeds. I have no idea how any of that works, but it would be an interesting thing to try, and then I can keep you guys updated. I'll be like, well, nothing happened, or it was really cool, and look at now what I have. So the only thing, oh, and I do have one that's kind of not open. I really think it's cute how the little petals on the leaf are kind of like wrapped around, and then they open, and like that's when they open, it's all like that. I don't know. I just think it's really cute the way that it's like you can see how it's folded up on itself and then it kind of opens. But like I said, this is a plant where go ahead and let you guys just look at those. A plant where I don't really see a lot of people talking about them. And I've been seeing a lot more recently of pictures of African violets with a lot of variegation on them, which look super cool. It's true, but like, I mean, that's just super gorgeous to me. I almost prefer the silver to the white, you know? And these probably grow far, far faster because it's not actually variegation, which is you know, it doesn't have the chlorophyll in it, and so it's not providing the leaf with as much nutrition. This is a different type of variegation where it looks like it's a different color, but the chlorophyll is still there. And so it's going to grow as fast as any other plant. Like this one here isn't going to grow slower because it's got all that silver. It actually has the chlorophyll underneath there, so it's going to grow, you know, as fast as anything else. So what I'm trying to do is just encourage maybe some more people to try Primulinas and see, you know, see if you like them, because I really like them. I find them super easy to grow. Like I said, these ones just started flowering. I haven't done anything special to them. So I just wanted to show you guys the success that I've had with these. And, you know, if you think they're cool, then you could, you know, try one out for yourself. You don't have to, you know, go crazy and buy a whole swarm like I have, obviously. But, you know, give one a shot. And the good thing is, because they are not super popular, they are also not in any way expensive. They cost as much as, I mean, I think I got each of these for like $6.99 or $7.99. It was something like that. I mean, it was right around there. And they're doing great. So let me know if any of you guys decide to try a Primulina. The place that I got all of these ones was it was an Etsy shop called My Green Obsession. They now have an actual website, and I was really happy with their packaging and all that stuff. You guys can go back and see the videos where I unboxed these guys if you want to like see the packaging or anything like that. But I had no problems with them. And, you know, let me know, because I'm interested to see what other people think of them, just because, you know, I've always seen other YouTubers be like advocates for plants that are just kind of not as well known, but are really cool, and I think these Primulinas are like really an awesome plant that like nobody is talking about. Because, you know, African violets, you grow them for their flowers more than their foliage, but these you can grow for the flowers and for the foliage together. Oh, and for those of you who didn't see my unpacking video, you'll find this really amusing. Does it say it on this one? So all these little tags that I got that have the name on there, they actually say, like an African violet, but better. I don't know if you're going to get that from any shop that's not My Green Obsession, because that's where I got all these from, and that's where these tags came from, but, I mean, it really does seem like that. They're like African violets. They grow basically in the same conditions, only they've got this cool silver on their leaves, so I hope I have advocated for these Primulinas, and also giving you guys an update on them. They are all doing really well. I'm hoping that this one will do a little bit better. I'm kind of sad that he hasn't grown more, but I'm maybe it's because of the flowers. I'm not sure. But obviously I'll keep on keeping on with him and see if he can improve himself a little bit too. But anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and like this video. If you'd like to see more Primulina content, go ahead and subscribe. Let me know which one of these you really like. I'm also thinking of seeing what I can do about propagating these. Just because I want to see how easy it is, and then possibly I can help to spread them. I don't think that they're hard to find. Truthfully, I had never run across them except on Migraine Obsession, but I'm sure that if I go out there and start looking for them, they're not going to be hard to find. It's just, if you don't know to look for a particular plant, you're not going to find it more than likely. Like I said, this one only caught my attention because it was called Primulina Loki, and I was like... Thank you for spending some of your time with me and putting up with my obsession with Primulinas. And I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye-bye.